Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy. Ooh, end of the day hair is looking fresh. I guess it's the opposite day because it is not, and we're just gonna ignore it and keep it pushing. Like, what did happen? Who's to say? Something died in there, and we're just gonna let it live. There's a lot going on in the world of the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, and we're gonna talk about what the updates are. Plus, we'll talk about you guys. We'll talk about me, guys. We'll talk about the fact that it's midnight for a lot of you guys on the East Coast. Well, it's midnight for all of you on the East Coast. For a lot of you on the East Coast, it's midnight. For a lot of you watching, it's midnight. I appreciate you being here. For some of you, it's 9 p.m. For some of you, it's daytime because you don't even live in this country, and that's the beauty of YouTube. I also want to talk a little bit about what happened with Keke Palmer and Usher, because that's kind of interesting. And then there's so many things I want to talk to you guys about, but I cannot. So maybe we'll figure out a way to have general conversations around things. I have received a few emails from SAG that I want to go over with you to talk about kind of why I'm making some of the choices I'm making online right now. Things always being subject to change, but yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it. Plus, again, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Actually, I don't mean again. I think that's the first time I told you that during this show today. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Get in your support. My entire industry is on strike. I am missing out on so much work. I am putting my blood, sweat, and tears into my Patreon right now. I'm in my Discord on my Patreon, patreon.com/Roxy Stryer. I'm on my Discord several times a day, writing back to every message. I've been putting together these weekly vlogs, which, because I'm not an editor, take me hours to create. Just kind of showing you more of my day. I've been posting photos. I posted photos of a set that I had previously been on, and I posted photos of my mom, and just been posting things. And I've been doing live streams over there and just a ton of shit. So AMAs and stuff. Anyway, if you're not already a patron, please go join. And if you can support this show, which I'm still doing multiple times a week, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Show up, show out, show that support. Be here, be wonderful. I was going to say be here, be queer. And if you are, fuck yeah, let's go. Okay, so yeah, that's the business up top. And then we'll break down what's going on with the unions on this August 15th. So we know that the WGA has gone back to the table with the studios, and they are currently on a bit of a media blackout, meaning that the studios have responded to the WGA's requests. They have gone back to the table, and now the WGA is looking over the studio's response and what they're able to do. Now, we know the big sticking points for the WGA, and I don't mean sticking points in any other way than they're 100% right. They have to do this. If they do not do this, there will be no industry for any of us to survive in, because this is the way that they're going to be able to make a living at their job. The big points seem to be staffing minimums. So, right, you guys have heard about these mini rooms where it used to be these big rooms of multiple people working on a show, and now those rooms are dwindling in size to create mini rooms. So a couple people are doing the work that a dozen people used to do. So staffing minimums, meaning like you have to have a certain amount of people per show, per room. Duration minimums, like how long you're putting somebody on a project, right? That's the way that people hit their health insurance and their other goals, is how long you're on something. So eliminating these mini rooms, bringing somebody in and them not being able to be there for long enough. There's a lot of other things as well, of course, residuals on both SAG and WGA side being something with streamers having being a relatively new thing in the entertainment industry and how people get fairly compensated because things are on streaming. So these are just some of the things that, in case you haven't been paying attention, that we are talking about on this show all the time and on a lot of the shows that are covering the strike, which unfortunately, as I've been watching and listening to a lot of podcasts and watching a lot of shows, the strike is not being as covered as heavily as I would like it to be. It's challenging because a lot of the companies that have these publications and have newsrooms work for the studios. So the funding is coming to them by the people who it's not beneficial for the information to get out there. So the major platforms, a lot of the time, are not talking about the strikes either at all or in a fair manner. They're not relaying the information properly because they're owned by people who it doesn't benefit to relay the information properly. But okay, so that's why this show, it matters to me that we cover it. On the World Girls, it matters to me that we cover it. On Big Thing, we've been covering it. On Only Stupid Answers, we've been covering it. And on my favorite shows right now, the podcasts that are covering this, I do appreciate that. So because the WGA has gotten their counter from the studios, that means that they are right now in this kind of media blackout. They've talked a little bit about how they don't believe it's beneficial during this time to kind of relay to the public yet, or to even some of the members, what exactly the negotiation comeback has been so far, because they believe in order to secure the best deal, they need to negotiate without the forum of public opinion chiming in left, right, and center on social media and otherwise. I think that that is a good call. I think that at this point, that would make things rather messy. If you guys feel like you are nearing a deal, which it does feel like, WGA is making major progress. I think they're on day 106 at the picket lines right now. So if they feel like the studios finally brought them back to the table and they finally are offering them something even close to a fair deal or what they're asking for, then I would keep it close to the chest right now too, until you do secure something, so that the people online don't fuck up the negotiations by saying, we believe this isn't enough, this is too much, this whatever, XYZ. So it makes sense to me. What do you guys think about what's going on with WGA right now? Do you guys feel like they are nearing a agreement? And if so, are you feeling good about that? It has been well over 3 months since we've seen our late night shows go away, and since a lot of productions have stopped because of the strike. And it's about, oh, I was going to say it's about damn time, but do we quote Lizzo anymore? I mean, I don't know. She did have people eating allegedly bananas out of sex workers' vaginas. It's just like a whole. Oy vey. Oy vey. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Support me, support the show, support us talking about the strike and all different things in entertainment that we can still talk about. Again, I'm going to get to the emails that have been sent to me via SAG and talk a little bit about them. But I'm also talking about the entertainment stuff that I can still talk about. And speaking of musicians, for those of you guys who missed what was going on with the Keke Palmer story, this was kind of wild, where Keke Palmer went to an Usher concert in Vegas and was wearing something that showed part of her butt cheeks, and her man went effing psycho and had tweeted out that the mother of his kid shouldn't be wearing that, and then people were calling him possessive, and then he said, if I don't want her wearing that, I should be able to have that feeling. And it was a whole to do, and he was publicly shaming her. Very messy situation. And then it was announced that Keke Palmer is in Usher's music video that I believe is dropping tomorrow. And I think the one lyric that we know from the song so far is, I think your boyfriend, from Usher, I think your boyfriend's looking for me. The drama. See, I can't talk about the actor drama right now. There's a story that I am dying to talk to you guys about because it was trending on social media today. Let's just say it's in regards to one actor's nose. I'll just kind of throw that out there. And I'm dying to talk about it, but I can't talk about it without talking about the movie. And that is something that I still am unclear on whether I can do that or not. So we will not. But anyway, I can talk about Keke and Usher. And that is dramatic. What do you guys think? Send in your Streamlabs. We are here not for a long time, but a good time and a productive time and an informative time. And I can only continue doing this show if you guys show up to support, because it is a fan-funded platform. For those of you guys who do not know, I am here live at the Roxy. I've been here for years now. I try to continue the show as much as I possibly can. And I prefer that you guys go over to Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer, because YouTube takes about 50% from creators. They say that they take about 30%. The last several years, that has been 50%, which is not close to 30%. 30% is still so much, but 50% is the amount they take. So that's why a lot of creators much prefer that you go over to Streamlabs. It takes 1 extra second for you. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. If you have questions, things you want me to talk about, or comments that you want to share about the strike or about Keke and Usher, about whatever it is that you want, I'm happy to talk about it. So please go over and support over there. All right. While you are doing that, let's talk a little bit about SAG-AFTRA, who they have been having issues with this interim agreement. So their interim agreements, as you guys know, is something that they put into place so that people could continue to work during this time for productions that decided to agree to all of the asks of SAG-AFTRA. For example, a pay raise of 11%. If you agree to that and you agree to all the other things that they are asking for fairly, then you can apply for these interim agreements, which means that you can continue shooting during this time. Now, there's a lot of pros and cons to this, seemingly. The pros being that this provides jobs for people during this time under the agreement that we are asking for, and therefore it's better pay for the people, and it is a way to continue working during this otherwise work stoppage. It also provides jobs for IATSE members of the crew who right now are not on strike, however, have almost no work because everything that IATSE works on, or most things that IATSE works on, are covered by WGA and SAG being on strike. So they are out of work right now too. So it is challenging because it does do some good things for some people who get to continue working during this time. People like Sarah Silverman, Viola Davis have come forward and have either turned down interim agreements. Viola Davis turned down an interim agreement and said she didn't feel comfortable working during this time, essentially. And Sarah Silverman saying it's supposed to be a full work stoppage. If it's a work stoppage, it's a work stoppage. People shouldn't continue working during this time. But she also said, but we should agree to disagree. And none of us are the enemy. It's the studios. So, and this is obviously me paraphrasing, but whether you agree or disagree, there should be interim agreements. We should all be on the same side against the man. So one of the things that then came out after all of this is that SAG did switch up their rules to now exclude Writers Guild covered projects produced in the US from interim agreement eligibility. So what this means is if the script is written by a WGA team or member, that it is excluded from the projects produced, it's excluded from what's allowed to be in the interim agreement eligibility conversation. So this comes after several productive and collaborative meetings happened with the Writers Union and the Screen Actors Guild, which is how they came to this conclusion. There was an article in Hollywood Reporter that we'll look at. It says SAG-AFTRA is making a significant change to its practice of offering interim agreements during its 2023 strike. Moving forward, the Performers Union will not be offering these deals to titles covered by the Writers Guild of America contract that are also produced in the U.S. SAG-AFTRA negotiations leaders told members on Monday the move came after several productive and collaborative meetings with the writers group, which is also currently on strike and not offering interim deals during their own work stoppage. Quote, "We have been advised by the WGA that this modification will assist them in executing their strike strategy, and we believe it does not undermine the utility and effectiveness of ours. It's a win-win change," the SAG-AFTRA negotiating committee said in the message. The union did not state that any interim agreements already offered to such projects would be rescinded. Rather, going forward, this would be the union's policy. The negotiating committee added, "Our staff will continue to investigate each application for an interim agreement to ensure only true independent productions are allowed." So, talking on that for a second, the WGA and SAG are sister unions that need to do everything to support each other during this time. And the waters were getting a little unclear because the waters were getting a little muddy because if you are not supposed to be writing as a WGA member right now and you're supposed to be on strike, and that is what their union has been doing, they have not been pitching movies or shows. They are in a full work stoppage right now. If you are on strike, but then SAG is allowing your projects to move forward, what does that mean or look like for you? So I think that this was a good part of the interim agreements. I do have questions around it and clarification that I am curious about, which is like, so is this so are the interim projects coming from non-WGA members? And is that then still more beneficial for WGA members? Is this like a way that non-Writers Guild members are going to get their projects out there more? And then what exactly does that look like? So what are these interim agreements going to be moving forward if they're not coming from WGA members, which a lot of writers are not part of the Writers Guild yet, because a lot of writers have not been staffed in a room. A lot of writers are like bigger than me, but the me's of the world who I've written several scripts, but I'm not part of WGA. Are people who have independently produced things just aren't part of it. So I am curious what the moving forward. We've seen that there's like A24 projects that have been included in this, and those will stay included. But I'm guessing that the majority of the projects that previously had been greenlit into these interim agreements were WGA members. So what will that look like? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Who is going to show up to be the first supporter of the show today? It is August 15th. It's late night. I am here to bring you guys the info. So if you are one of the people watching live right now, I'm looking at all you guys in here. Gregory, Wesley, Stabworthy, Matt, Jeremy, Ryan, Zeno, Spidey, Brandy, Bryce, Mohammed, Robin, Mick Shagan. I am so appreciative of all of you guys who are in here right now. Justin, I'm so grateful that you guys are here. If you want to see this show continue and continue to thrive and be here as often as possible, please don't forget streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Getting your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. Would love to hear from you. Yes, my mod Brandy in the chat. I haven't seen you in a minute, babe. I always know that you like the late night shows, even though it's so late for you right now. Can you give us a little fill in on your relationship and the tea? I want to hear what's going on from you because I haven't heard anything except for on Facebook. Anyway, lover of love, shipper of ships. Let's talk about SAG and my interaction so far, which again, I'm not really a believer in making these like big statements. I know a lot of YouTube channels and individuals are coming out right now and feel like they have to make these statements about what they are talking about, what they're not talking about, what their plan is moving forward. And I think that's great for them. And I love that they're being clear with their intentions and about the reasons behind those intentions. I'm so unclear with what the rules and regulations are right now because I think it's just a very tumultuous time. So I'm so unclear with some of the stuff that I'm not like 10 toes down on anything, and it seems like it's a little loosey goosey. Here's the only things that I'm 100% clear on is that I stand with the union. I stand with the unions. I am out there picketing every week, multiple times a week. I believe in every ask that SAG and the WGA are asking for. I think that it is not only fair, but necessary. And I fully talk about 10 toes down, stand with the union, the unions. Some of the rules around this have been a little bit confusing. And I think that have been emailing them to try to get clarification about what I can talk about. Some of my colleagues are talking about movies and TV shows, some of them are not, some of them are consider themselves critics, some of them consider themselves influencers. I think I fall in kind of a bizarro category where I definitely am invited to critic screenings, and you guys know that I review professionally. I'm a paid professional movie and television reviewer. I am. I feel like that makes me a critic. Even though I would never describe myself as a critic because of the connotation with that word sometimes. It's like that is what I'm doing. I'm critiquing things, right? Some people would describe me as an influencer because I post things and it influences people's opinions on them. The terminology got a little weird. So I've been just trying to email them and trying to get a good, uh, get a good a response from them. Not a good response, just a response to know what I am and what I'm not allowed to do. But the responses I've been getting have still been very confusing, to be honest. And I know that they're so overwhelmed, and I'm grateful to receive responses at all. But for the most part, they're like, you have to figure the last thing was, in the end, you have to determine if your work is acceptable or not. And I am doing the best job I can to do that. But one of the things that they've been clear on, and they said if you have a contract that predates the strike and requires you to promote struck work, you should honor that contract. So we know, I've talked to you guys about, I have several contracts. I have a contract with Real Rejects. And so I've been doing my videos weekly for them where I do have a standing contract. I have contracts everywhere I am. That contract is just very specific about things and what I'm covering. But I have contracts for every company I work for. So, and they all predate the strike. So that part I feel like is a little challenging to navigate. And then it says they keep referring to in all these emails that they send to people that you can do anything that is they consider genuine review. That's the quotation. They keep saying genuine review. So I wrote to them and I wrote them all the places I am. And I said, you guys keep saying genuine review, which I'm a little unclear about. And so they said in this email, by genuine review, we mean critical appraisal and or analysis of shows and films, not discussion, interview, comedic conversation, watch along, or rewatch podcasts. These are promotional struck work and may drive listeners or viewers to find and view the struck content. So I guess it's up to us to kind of determine what is critical appraisal and analysis of the show versus what is discussion and comedic conversation. Um, what I'm gathering is, as long as you're serious about it, you can kind of talk about it. But if you're funny about it, maybe not as much. But you guys know me. The way I genuinely review things is like I'm not super uptight with the way that I review things. But to me, it is genuine review. I never just go and see things and just like mouth off about it. I put time and effort into my reviews. So I believe a lot of what I do is I believe all of what I do is genuine. I'm also kind of unclear on what they say you can do critical appraisal and analysis of shows and films, but not discussion. So, but can you appraise and analyze with somebody And what is the difference between that and discussion? So it's just still, every time I ask them follow-up questions, now they are responding, and I'm grateful for that. And I know how many of these they must be getting, and it's so challenging. And it's not about me during this time, but I still need to be able to keep a roof over my head because I, I need to be able to keep a roof over my head, and I'm unclear on some of the stuff. So I think it's challenging. I think that we need to live with and give people grace during this time, as it is challenging. Yeah, they said they've said a bunch of different stuff. Earlier they said, when it comes to critique, if you're a professional film or television critic and host a podcast or create content that consists of genuine review or critique like a modern day Siskel and Ebert, then your podcast will not be in violation of the strike order. But SAG-AFTRA considers anything beyond professional critique to be promotional. Discussion of struck work may act as promotion, as it can drive listeners to platforms to view the films/programs. It sounds as though some, but not all, of the work you do might fit the description of genuine critique. But when I asked for what exactly that is, they said, in the end, you will have to determine if your non-contractual content is promotional or not. And if it is, decide if you will pivot away from promotion of struck work toward other kinds of content or topics that are not the subject of our ongoing efforts to secure fair compensation and protections of our members and future members. And then they said, we know that to forego producing your usual content may be significant sacrifice, and we appreciate your thoughtfulness and seriousness around this. And I'm grateful again for the responses. I know a lot of people aren't getting responses right now, but I still lack clarity. And so I'm going to do the best I can to decipher, and knowing that I am going to continue talking about the strike so I can do my part to get as much out there about the strike as I can. And then on top of talking about it, I'm going to do the best I can to interpret their words. And truthfully, I think I'm fully covered across the board because I have contracts everywhere. It sounds like they don't want you taking new contracts right now, but anywhere you're contracted, like, I have, with every company that I've worked for, I have contracts with Real Rejects, with Christian, with DJ, with Rotten Tomatoes, with the World Girls, with every company. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Pixel Might with the first Streamlab of the night. Thank you, Pixel. You're my hero. Appreciate you. Here I am bringing you that good, talking all about how my industry is, and you're sending support, which I appreciate. He says, or she says, just saying hi. Thanks, Pixel. Appreciate you. Lloyd Nance in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Lloyd, I can always count on you. You are effing awesome. Thank you for being here for this late night stream. Says Roxy, Team Striar are the best and hot at the same time. Lloyd, damn. I appreciate it. This is not my look, but I will take it. I will take it. Take another little piece of my heart out, baby. Hi, Avery, honey. Miss seeing you more often on this show, but so grateful that you're here. Can't believe you're a junior in high school. That is just so wild. Okay, so that is what's going on right now. That was what's going on with WGA and their most recent updates. That's what's going on with SAG and their updates. That's what's going on with me and my back and forth with them. And that's what's going on with Usher and Keke. Anything else that you guys want me to talk about before we head out? Anything else you wanted to share about any of the topics that I discussed? Make sure you send them in now. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Send in that support if you want this show to continue for as long as it can. Shout out to Lady Dog Brandy. Yes, Brandy. Appreciate you. You are awesome. Brandy says, hey, love. Justin and I are doing well. Going 2 years strong now. I think he's my lobster. I'll be seeing him next month. We're traveling to see a friend in Arizona. For those of you guys who do not know, I do feel like this was a rock star love story. Brandy's been with me for a really long time. She's my mod. She's my homie. She's my friend. She's my, I met her through my friend Ashley on Periscope. back in the day. She's been a true ride or die. She's my Boston babe. And through me / the schmodown, but this community, she met who she thinks is her lobster. And they are so effing cute. She's a lobster. Jeremy's like, what's lobster? That's lobster. It comes from Friends. If you don't get the reference, then start binging now. I'm so happy to hear you're doing well. I remember, and this is kind of a lesson to all of us, including myself, because I'm single as a Pringle. Although right now I'm actually, to be honest, just pivoting a little bit. I don't know if I'm just kind of happy being single right now. Seeing a lot of things go on in my girlfriends' lives that are dating right now, and it seems stressful. It seems overwhelming. It seems like some of them maybe are not with people that are stable emotionally or otherwise. And I have peace, and I love my peace. And I don't know, I'm just kind of enjoying being single right now. I wish that I was like enjoying dating more in that phase of being single, but I'm just enjoying my own company right now. So anyway, I'm kind of in a good place about it, but I do want to find my forever person at some point. And um, Matthew says, you said you're not emotionally stable yourself. I did not say that. I find myself to be incredibly emotionally stable. Yeah, I do the work. I have been in therapy. I do yoga and Pilates. I eat healthy. I work my ass off. And all of that creates a pretty emotionally stable lifestyle for myself. So, anyway, I'm not saying that you can't be with somebody who's emotionally going through a hard time, but to be with somebody who is so inconsistent can be very challenging. Anyway, the point being that Brandy, before finding her person, was in here all the time. I'm never going to find my person. And I just know that. And it's gone. And that is what it is. But again, the point being, you just don't fucking know. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know when it's going to be. You don't know where it's going to be. You don't know how it's going to be. But if you stay open to the possibilities, be true to yourself, love yourself, start from within, believe that people who want to find their person will do that. And I can't give a timeline for anybody, including myself, but it is really beautiful to see, Brandy, this happening for you. And I'm just so fucking happy for you. Yeah, you're the best, Brandy. Anyway, going back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. Mike Joyce says, if SAG is being purposely vague about what they want from people like you, then you should feel free to talk about what you want. If you end up violating SAG strike rules because of how vague they're being, then that's on SAG and not you. Here's what I feel. I stand so wholeheartedly with the union that I don't want to. I'm trying to use my head as to what is beneficial and not beneficial. I don't want to do anything that, whether they're being clear or not clear or whatever it is, because they're overwhelmed and getting so many emails. I don't want to do anything that negatively affects the unions from getting to their goals, which are my goals. So I'm trying to be as intentional as possible with this, and forever subject to change, but I'm just trying to do what feels right by me. You do you. Pixel Might in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider says, hi again, just sending to keep the stream going. Yes, Pixel. Guess what? It works. The more Streamlabs we get, the more the stream does to keep going. And that is, oh, it's been a while since I said that's the way the cookie crumbles. But that is the way the cookie crumbles. I am probably going to get out of here soon, though, because I am going to have dinner, which I'm going to make. I think I'm going to make pasta. I think I'm going to do tomato, basil, garlic, olive oil, salt and pepper, and prosciutto and pasta. and kind of use. Sometimes I saute the maybe I'll put some onions in there too. Sometimes I saute the garlic with the prosciutto on the pan. Not that you need to cook the prosciutto, but in pasta to make it almost like a little, it's not bacon, but it makes it a little crispy. And then the prosciutto fat gets in there with the sauce and the oil and the garlic and the tomatoes. And it's just mwah. Y'all know I love to cook. I've been making this bomb.com salmon that I made on the World Girls Patreon. It's so good, and I've made it like 3 times this week. It's just excellent. Ooh, Wesley, I don't do Parmesan because I'm allergic to cheese, and I also hate it. But also I'd be puking my brains out, but also I hate it. But if you do eat cheese, I bet it would be bomb.com on there. I bet that shit would be really good. And also, streamlabs.com/RoxyStrike before I get out of here. What's up, Paul? Hey, Rox, my first time catching you live. That's crazy that this is it at 9:30. That's when you're able to tune in live. Mohammed says that pasta is your go-to meal. Yeah, I fucks with pasta. I eat pasta a few times a week. It works well for me because I like to fully load my pasta with protein and veggies and things. So it always makes me full and good and feel good. I do well with pasta. I just do well with pasta. And what did I have for lunch today? Let's think about. Oh, I had salmon. I had salmon, which I marinated for like a few hours in this mustard, lemon, parsley, olive oil marinade. And then I made this side salad that was bomb. And then I had made extra sauce for the salmon so that when I sauteed it in there, then I made rice and I put it in that marinade after it came out of the oven. And it was mwah, mwah, mwah. Shit, it's me, Chef Boyarux. So that. Okay, let's GTFO. Thank you guys. A special shout out to PLD in the Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy says, it's been a while. How much do I owe you in back Streamlabs? Keep on keeping on, my girl. 1 for every day you've missed, PLD. Thanks for being here always. You're the shit. Big shout out to Pixel Mite, to Lloyd Nance, to Lady Dog, Brandy, to Mike Joyce, and to PLD for being our Streamlabsers extraordinaire for the night. Thank you to everybody else for being here for this live show. Like I said, I'm here a couple times a week. Another Streamlabs coming in from Pixel Mite. Let's go, Pixel Mite. Pixel Mite says, do you think that, and then named a movie, will be pushed back to 2024? I'm not going to mention the specific movie you named because of what I just talked about with everything, but I do think a lot of movies are going to be pushed back in general. I think that their studios, it depends on how long this goes. Studios are going to kind of have to fill the holes for a lot of things, and it depends on how long the strike goes, right? We were at the beginning of this, we were hearing Labor Day, and then we were hearing November, and then I was hearing sometime in January or February. But now, because the WGA is back to the table and SAG is up next, I really believe that what we're hearing right now is positive movement. These studios are losing the economy is so fucked right now. I saw this thing today. What is the actual numbers? Let me read it to you guys so that I don't get it wrong. The California economy since the strikes has lost $30 million per day, which means that in the 100+ day strike, the economy, California has lost $3 billion+. So, I mean, this shit's got to go. Or as we say on the picket lines, hey, hey, ho, ho, this corporate greed has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, this corporate greed has got to go. So because of that, we are doing, I'm hopeful that we are going to be doing negotiations quicker for SAG, and that That will mean I'm hearing this could be solved by the end of October. Now, again, at one point we were hearing February, so who the fuck knows? And yeah, but that's what I'm hearing. So hopefully that helps Pixel answer your question vaguely, even though it wasn't super specific. All right, my loves. If you want more of me, I do these vlogs and live streams and AMAs and Discord with my patrons, patreon.com/Roxy Stryer. I've been working hard at making that a good, awesome, fun community and place to be. So if you want to chat with me throughout the day, I check it multiple times a day. I'm responding to every single Discord in there. You can join just at the $5 level and join the Discord. Or if you want more vlogs, more AMAs, then check out what I have to offer. And until next time, if I don't see you over there, I will see you in the World Girls tomorrow. Stay safe, stay sane, put down the toilet seat and lid. We don't want those buffoons. Don't try with the Holocaust. I have a crazy story about that. I'll tell my patrons later that this week. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice, wherever you're on the rainbow. I love you. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Golden sparkles for the Zen one himself, Glenn Caesar. Thinking about you. I wish I got an update on you, but I haven't yet. We stand with the unions. And so much love to you guys. Thank you for being here. And we'll talk soon. Later.